welcome to today's report, the 4th of September 2024. Right, what's up for us today? The big question today, where are we in the US dollar cycle, right? Now, the cyclical nature of the US dollar strength is based on the response of the market to changes in interest rates, economic growth indicators, and inflation trends, right? The Federal Reserve's last interest rate hike occurred in July 2023, bringing the US rates to 5.5%. Now, this series of rate increases drove the US dollar up from 97 to a peak of 114. However, with the Federal Reserve expected to begin cutting rates in September this month, 2024, potentially with 3 rate cuts over the years, this indicates a likely shift towards a more accommodative monetary policy. Historically, when Fed cuts interest rates, the dollar typically weakens as the relative attractiveness of the US assets decline, marking a transition from a strong phase to a weak phase in the dollar cycle. Now, economic growth indicators further support this outlook. Rising unemployment over the last 4 months and the revelation that jobs growth have been overstated by 818,000 suggests a cooling economy. Now, these conditions historically prompt the Federal Reserve to ease monetary policy to support economic growth, aligning with the onset of a bear phase in the dollar cycle, where the dollar's value tend to weaken due to a low demand for lower yielding investments. Additionally, inflation trends plays a critical role. With inflation dropping to 2.89% and nearing the Fed's target of 2%, there is less justification for maintaining restrictive monetary policy. So as inflation drops, the Fed is more likely to reduce rates, a move that has historically correlated with a weakening dollar, signaling a shift to a bear cycle in the face. Now, geopolitical tensions, right, that's happening right now, such as ongoing conflicts in Gaza, Ukraine, and Israel actions against Hezbollah, do offer some temporary support for the dollar as a safe haven asset. And we might see because of this, the dollar temporarily will be going up. But I see this as something temporary. Now, we have recently witnessed the attempt of Israel to actually save hostages, but unfortunately it ended in the death. And Hamas has warned already they don't see hostages as a leverage in negotiations anymore, and have instructed, unfortunately, that whenever the Israeli Defense Forces, the IDF, storms to any of the Hamas's the hiding areas and hideouts, and they have been given instructions to execute the hostages held there. So with this kinds of tensions, I do see that it could potentially escalate, and because of this potential there, we might see the dollar strengthening just for a short while, but I see it more of a corrective structure, and from the technical analysis point of view, it's also more of a correction upwards. That's why this support is often short-lived. Whatever you see the dollar going up is short-lived and may not fully offset the impact of easing monetary policy and weakening economic fundamentals. So at the end of the day, if these geopolitical risks do not escalate into a broader global crisis that significantly boosts demand for safe haven assets, the influence of anticipated rate cuts and economic slowdown will likely dominate, pushing the dollar into a weaker phase. Now, this analysis is also grounded in historical observations of the US dollar cycle. Past cycles have shown that when the Federal Reserve shift from tightening to easing, the dollar generally weakens. This pattern was evident in periods following 2000 and 2008, where rate cuts led to dollar appreciation. Now, as a conclusion, the expectation of a weakening dollar is consistent with typical response of the market to changes in interest rates, economic growth, and inflation trends, all which currently suggest a transition into a weaker phase of the US dollar cycle. Okay, so that's where we are right now in the dollar cycle.